When you want a material possession, how do you go about obtaining it? When we were younger and all we had to live on was that $20 a week allowance our parents gave us, how would we afford to buy things we wanted? How do people afford to travel to different parts of the world? This process should ring a very loud bell. And the answer to all of these questions can be answered in the same way. Whatever you desire, whatever you want, you begin to save your money. You flip the switch in your mind that says, I am not going to spend money on candy because I want to buy a new PlayStation. Or I'm not going to go out with my friends to the bar tonight because I want to save money so I can go on a vacation. All of a sudden, these new desires that you're craving overtake your original priorities no matter how big or small they are. And the flipping of this switch, the flipping into making these new things a more pertinent priority, might not matter immediately. Not going to the candy store for one day might not immediately give you the money you need to buy that new PlayStation. Or maybe deciding to skip that last drink on a night out with your friends does not give you the savings required to buy a plane ticket to Australia. But what happens exactly then? When we truly want something, whether that is a material item or a vacation, we decide we are going to do whatever it takes to get it. If you truly desire to get on a plane and go to a different country, buy a PlayStation, buy a new car, a new house, or whatever the case may be, you're gonna do whatever it takes if you really want it and it's really that important to you. Sometimes our minds will even wander and become even more creative, dreaming of new ways we can increase our income or increase our savings so we can buy whatever it is we desire, whatever we prioritize faster. We start picking up extra shifts at work, maybe get a new part-time job, or possibly even start driving for Uber. Now keep in mind we apply this to just about everything in our lives that we really want. As I said in my last video, this piece of paper makes the world go round. But from what I see in the world is that the majority of people do this only with these material items and experiences. And the question I sit here contemplating as I record this video is, why don't more people do the same thing but with their wealth? Why don't more people, instead of breaking down how long it's going to take for them to save up for a new Xbox if they put a small sum of money away from every single paycheck, why don't more people calculate how long it will take for them to become a millionaire if they put away a few $100s from every check? Seriously, why? At this point, a lot of people are going to start making excuses. Building wealth is impossible. It is too hard. I don't have any money. And at the point when I start hearing these excuses, this is the point where I believe that building wealth simply just is not that important to you and is not that large of a priority, which is completely fine, I might add. But all those people that go on and say that those who are wealthy are extremely lucky, those with these high net worths just were in the right place at the right time, do they really get lucky? As a 13-year-old kid, when you did not have any money but wanted to buy a Game Boy, man, I really feel old saying that. Anywho, did you simply give up or did you figure out a way to get enough money to purchase this Game Boy? I'm sure a lot of you watching this video figured out a way. You didn't care how long it took or what you had to do. As long as you got the result you wanted, as long as you kept your eyes on the prize, you would continue on. So let me cut to the chase here. What exactly needs to happen to become wealthy first? What do you have to do to free up your time, to live in a world where you don't have to work at a desk, where you can be financially free, financially independent, and you can spend your days working on whatever you please, whatever you enjoy? The decision is yours. And the answer is very simple. The first step to becoming wealthy, to becoming rich, is to becoming wealthy in your mind first, before you have any money. Everything starts with your mindset, whether that's riding a bike, running a marathon, or trying to get a new job. Everything starts with your mindset. If you're a professional athlete and you don't have the right mindset and you aren't confident in yourself and your abilities, you will probably end up being ruled out of the game because you are afraid, i.e. Ben Simmons. So now you might be asking, how do I change my mindset? I am not financially literate. I don't even know where to begin. And to this, I have two things to say. First and foremost, like I have said before, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna figure it out. You aren't gonna take no for an answer. You are going to keep grinding until you find whatever it is you are looking for. Whether that is financial freedom, a Game Boy, or whatever this is. Second, surrounding yourself with content that you want your mindset to revolve around. Now here I would normally say surround yourself with like-minded people, but I understand that might be challenging for someone just starting out, especially if you are at a point in your life where maybe the people you hang around with frequently just don't have the same interests. So instead, focus on the content you are consuming. For example, if you're watching Logan Paul vlogs, you are most likely going to be throwing wild parties, making stupid jokes, and doing whatever the hell this is.
Here we go. Oh. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, yeah. Okay, don't miss. Ooh. Go.
But if you're consuming content on the stock market, real estate, and other different asset classes, this is going to elevate you in ways you probably didn't think were possible. And to further that example, if you're consuming content revolving around Logan Paul, your mind is most likely going to wander towards something related to Logan Paul in your free time. But if you are taking in content that is related to, again, the stock market, real estate, other asset classes, your free time is going to revolve around your mind, brainstorming about different ideas pertaining to the stock market, pertaining to the real estate market, all of these different asset classes, leading you to new curiosities, interests, goals, and more. As talked about in the 15 commitments of conscious leadership, committing to learning by curiosity is a great path to go down if you are interested in growing in terms of self-awareness and learning rapidly. And if you choose not to learn by curiosity, it is possible that you will never discover anything new to pursue, and you may not even discover that the way you are thinking of all along is a way of thinking that you truly don't agree with. When I first started learning how to build wealth, it really started with the concept of learning by curiosity, even though I didn't know it at the time. I remember I had a friend that was posting profits he made from the stock market on his Instagram story, and I had no idea what the stock market was. I thought it was gambling. I thought it was way too risky. I thought if I put money in it, it would just go to zero. I had all of these myths that were in my head that I deemed as being true. And it got me curious. And I talked to him about what he was doing and what it was. And he kind of gave me a very superficial overview. And he recommended this book to me, The 7 Steps to Financial Freedom by Tony Robbins. And this book, I will say this over and over again, this book changed my life. And this content I consumed, it got me thinking about what I can do to further my wealth, what I can do to make more money, what I can do to make my money work for me. Very basic concepts of investing and financial literacy, but concepts that a lot of people don't understand. And just by reading this book, it led me down a rabbit hole of reading hundreds of personal finance books and just consuming everything I could about investing, asset classes, making money, etc., etc. And it also led me down different rabbit holes of psychology, mindset, growth, all of these different things that I talk about a lot today. And sometimes I think if I never read that book by Tony Robbins, if I never responded to my friend's Instagram story about his profits that he made in the stock market, where would I be today? Both mentally, physically, however you want to call it, where would I be? And I don't think I'm ever going to have an answer to that. We all have different situations and we can't control the hand we are dealt at the beginning of our lives. Some people were set up with trust funds, others were set up with a family business they can step into, some are just ordinary average individuals. But the one thing everyone has in common that everyone can control is their mindset. They can control their mindset and what they believe. They can lay out a plan to become wealthy, to change their course of action and not go down a path they will look back and regret in 30 or 40 years. And this path all starts with your mindset. Go buy that book. Google that term you don't know. Go after what it is that truly interests you. It doesn't have to be building generational wealth. It can be building a shed, paving a driveway, or even cooking dinner for your significant other. Regardless of what it is, it's possible to achieve anything you want as long as you believe in it. But it really does start with you, because if you don't believe in it, why would anyone else? And if you do have a desire to be wealthy, you do have that motivation to be able to live life on your own terms and do as you please, you can do it with $0, because it really does all start with your mindset.